Hello all and welcome to video number 9 in my high scoring series. This is Hungry Hippos and this time we're on the stream. Now, one thing that occurs to me at least is that in general high scoring requires very similar tactics across all the maps. It's very little room to do anything kind of different if you want to get a decent score. I mean, yeah, sure I could put down a bunch of traps that weren't that useful or didn't combo well, but then it wouldn't really be a high scoring video. It would just be a rubbish video maybe, or entertaining possibly, but you know, not really achieving the objective here, which is to get a high score. Now this video is one of the few ones where I will actually be able to show you something which is a little bit different to what I normally do, which is, you know, go with the go-to traps and go with the go-to kill box and so on. In this video I'm gonna throw caution to the wind and put all my hopes of getting a high score onto achieving a 14 times combo on one of the ogres on wave 8 or wave 9. Maybe even both, but I haven't really had many tries at this, so I'm confident I can get one. I'm not confident I can get two 14x combos in one level here yet. I would probably need to play around with it a bit more before I could say with any confidence that I could achieve better. However, saying that, a 14x combo is worth approximately 400,000 points. So if you get one of those, I will actually beat my previous best score of 350,000 in one ogre. Nothing else would really matter. So as far as I'm concerned right now, I'm doing the best I can to get combos on these other guys, but with the limited trap setup you've got to take, that's not always an easy task, especially considering how kind of wide these pathways are. You haven't got barricades to funnel the orcs into the kill box properly. Well, all I can say is we'll see how we get on, and hopefully at least this stage here won't be quite as sterile, I would say, as you might normally see from me when I'm doing my best to get high combos, rather than just messing around with a whole bunch of traps on the floor with, you know, with like the wall traps there. And I'm gonna build this up a little bit, build a few more traps. One of the problems with doing this though is you actually don't really have a lot of money. Money is tight. I can't help but feeling this must be what it's like to be in Greece right now. You know, where they've got all these debt problems and stuff, and they can't really afford anything. I kind of wish I could just buy these traps here as well, just like, oh, you know, it's like I could just borrow the money from the banks and put the traps down, and then I'd pay it back eventually, maybe. Not sure. I'll think about it. I might just skip the country as well. Both options are quite good, and I'd say fairly open. But anyway, here we go. So, next wave coming up. Also, one thing to point out here is that I'm completely missing all of my headshots on the flyers in this level. No excuse for that, other than the excuse that I'm tired and it's quite late at night, and I'm not really putting as much focus into this as I probably should be, but oh well, never mind. Can't win them all, as they say. This is probably one of the ones that I'm not going to be able to win. I would imagine that people will be able to do a similar tactics to this, and whoever pulls off 214 combos first will basically take the leaderboard, because that will give you 800,000 points, and no one will be able to touch you. Well, unless they also get 214 times combos as well. But the real tricky one is the last wave, the last ogre on the last wave, because you only get 2 ogres in this entire map, and a normal orc won't survive for long enough in the same trap setup you need to get the high combos on the ogres. So yeah, they're not really going to get many points out of the orcs on this level, but that's not where the focus is. The focus is going to be on the 14 times combos. Yeah, I'm getting small combos. There's like, I think like 6 is the highest that I see at any point in this level. Most of them just get like 3s and 4s. It's rubbish. It really is. One of the other things in this level though is that even if I was focusing on getting kills here, rather than just kind of killing the ogres as well as I can to prep for the 14 times combo, it's difficult to get a good high score in it, because you can't really use a ceiling trap, because the ceilings are way too high on this level. There's no low ceilings, and In fact, there is. I tell a lie. There is one low ceiling beneath where the archers are perched, but you can't actually put any traps other than the ballistas on the bottom of it, which makes it pretty much unusable. So yeah, the reason I wasn't able to get much more than about 350,000 as level was because it's a ball ache. It really is. So that 14 times combo will change the game here totally. The only other problem with the 14 times combo is you have to go through like 8 waves of mobs before you actually even get to the point where you can try and pull it off. So if you miss it, then you've got to do it all again, and that's really rubbish. Boring. I find on this game some maps are more interesting than others. This is one of my least favourite maps. Not sure, it's not as bad as a balcony. A balcony's worse, but this one, yeah, not much fun. The only thing that makes this map actually any good right now is 14 times combo. Without that, I would be sat here recording this video bored out of my skull. Because the mobs take ages to walk around this little maze here, and the flies take ages to fly over, and yeah, it's just not much fun. It really isn't. Right, so here we go. This should be the last wave now before I sell everything up and start prepping up the 14 times combo trap setup I need. Now I can't quite afford everything when I do this that I needed when I did my video before, but I should be able to afford most of the traps. So we'll see. Yeah, that archer dies, but that's fine. He comes back to life again because he's Jesus' archer, I guess, or something. So on the WarMage difficulty, it will be fine as the archer will respawn. It doesn't matter that he dies now. But on Nightmare, I actually think you'd have a much harder time about it because the archer won't respawn when he dies. His guardians don't respawn in Nightmare mode. So, done right, I think the WarMage score will be a lot higher than the top score on the Nightmare one will be.
Until later, I suppose.
Okay, so here we go. I'm setting up traps. Don't need these here anymore. I need to move them. I have purchased the fire archers, and I've also purchased the jagged steel upgrade, which I will need. So I'm gonna put my traps down over here. Decided to go with 2 spikes rather than 1 just in case.
This will be good.
Yeah, money's still a little bit tight. I don't think I've got enough here, so we'll see what I go with.
That's gonna leave a mark.
I need that second blade wall there. I decided to go with just 2 lightning traps up here. Let me put down a fire scorcher here instead. One of the only other things I'm really missing here is I've got less blisters than I normally do. So the balance might well be slightly off with the ballistas. I'm using the traps here just to get some extra combos because I can. Got to be careful of those ones getting in, so I've kind of rushed them back to defend the rift now. Try and miss the flies as much as possible. There we go. I should really use the zoom more, but I can't always be bothered. So, might be one of the reasons I'm missing, but even when I do use the zoom, I still manage to miss. I'm leaving that archer to be killed by the other archers so that I get time to put down this boom barrel before the ogre shows up and purchase another ballista. So the only thing I'm actually missing here from my video is the 4th ballista, so it should be okay. Right, exactly the same way I did it before. Bring him over the top. Bang! 14x. Yeah. So that's instantly taken me to first place on this map, no matter what happens, unless of course I don't get to the end. So here I go, I'm just defending the rift. Densifying lightning is fine. Just get you some kill streaks. You don't get your combos here, but kill streaks give you a bit of extra cash anyway, so that's always good. And I think a bit of extra score as well. If you can't get combos, then I'd just go for kill streaks. Yeah, last I should finish him off. Okay, so this is the last wave. The ogre comes out of this middle door here. The problem is I cannot get him over to there and use him on the 14 times combo door, whilst the other orcs are all around as well. So what I actually try and do here is I try and just kind of keep him in this little side room here. I was considering just letting this ogre chase me around in that little room and leaving everything else to just get to the rift. But then I thought, is 30 rift points actually enough to make sure I don't lose the map if they all get taken? And I'm pretty sure it won't be, so I had to run around here doing some killing, and I'm getting hit by the ogre, as you can see. I might be able to figure something out on this one. I haven't really done it or played around with it, so I would probably mess about with this until I manage to find a way that worked. I'm going to lose some rift points here. I don't really care about those, because as I said, the 14x I just got is pretty much the icing on the cake, really. My main concern with this ogre is his health. If he loses too much health, I won't be able to get a decent combo on him. He'll die before he gets a combo. So I'll try and freeze him in place and get that boom barrel in place. He's run off a little bit here. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. He's only got half his health. I think he needs a lot more than that for this to actually work. Yeah, that bit there, you gotta keep him close around this corner here. I'm trying to bring him around the traps to the other side, and then bring him back over the brimstone. What actually happened here was not good and didn't work at all. I'd be surprised if I even comboed that guy whatsoever then. Anyway, let's see how we did. So, 3 skulls, really epic, and 493,000. As always, thank you for watching, guys. Take it easy, and I will see you on the next video.